The death of former ANC Women's League President Gertrude Shope, who's passed away at the age of 99. A statement from the party says she died peacefully at her home in Gauteng.
Gertrude Ntiti Shope was born on the 25th of August 1925 in Johannesburg. She was one of 4 children born to Mary and John Muekezi. Shope grew up in Zimbabwe and completed her schooling there. She subsequently did a primary teacher's course in the then Salisbury, which is present-day Harare, the Zimbabwean capital. She returned to South Africa in the mid-40s and went on to teach at Indaleni Secondary School in Natal and Pimville High School in Soweto. She joined the African National Congress in 1954 at the age of 29. At the time, she stated that her goal here was to work for a free, democratic and just society.
I felt that, like everybody else who are focused, I should join the struggle to fight for our country, to liberate our nation, and to prepare better life for our children.
With the formation of Federation of South African Women in 1954, Shope became a member and was appointed chair for the Central Western Jabavu branch in 1958. She was also part of the organizing committee of FEDSAW that oversaw the historic 1956 Women's March to the Union buildings. This is how Shope described the significance of the march by over 20,000 women to the seat of the apartheid power.
The word of advice to women is that we should remain as united as we were on that particular day and even before that day, because it cannot be a leader alone who can change the situation. It is the people who support that leader and that opinion who really support the whole thing, and then a change occurs. But otherwise, if we are going to say one person or the government alone must do a thing, we will never get to where we are going to. We would never have had the education that today our children are getting. We would never have had the liberties that our women today are getting. We would never have had the privileges that today our elderly women are getting if such things had not been fought for.
In 1966, the ANC leadership convinced her to leave South Africa and join her husband, Mark Shope, in exile. The couple in exile moved around a lot as representatives of the ANC. They lived in places like Prague, Botswana, Tanzania, Czechoslovakia, Zambia, and Nigeria. Former anti-apartheid activist and cabinet minister Lindiwe Zulu regards Shope as her mentor and one of the courageous first women cohorts of the ANC armed wing Umkhonto weSizwe.
I feel when you talk about Gertrude Shope, you talk about a stalwart. You talk about a person that never slept. You talk about the person who crisscrossed between Angola, Zambia, Tanzania. But more than that, Gertrude Shope, together with the women who were with her in the women's section then, were the leaders who said, it's time women are recognized for their capacity and capability of contributing to the liberation struggle. She was in the forefront of fighting for the emancipation of women. And I say I'm pained today because I think to a very large extent, Gertrude Shope is watched more by her family than some of us concerning ourselves about her health. And it's not only Gertrude Shope, it's all the women at that age of Gertrude Shope who I think we owe them something. Gertrude Shope is one of those that sacrificed hardly even being able to see her own children throughout that period of liberation struggle.
Several months after the ANC was unbanned in 1992, the ANC Women's League was relaunched in Durban on the 9th of August 1990. Shope was elected president of the ANC Women's League, a position she held between 1991 until 1993. In 1994, Shope became a member of parliament in the Government of National Unity, wherein she championed for women and children's rights. She served in Parliament until 1999.
What I know and have seen and interacted with Shope is that she's a disciplinarian. Yeah, no, she is. So the first thing that you see when you look at her, that's what you're not going to have an easy time with her, because she is a disciplinarian. She wants order.
Gender activist and Mam Shope's biographer, Advocate Brenda Madumise Bajibo, has described her as a humble person who served both the ANC and Democratic Parliament with honor and dignity.
She was not in a popularity contest. I don't think it's something that she aspired to and for, that I can say without contradiction. She did not aspire to be popular. She aspired to do what she believed needed to be done, right? If I'm going to advance the cause of women, I'm going to do that with limited knowledge or limited resources that we have, but I'm going to push that the ANC and all its alliance partners and everyone else understand why there's a need for us to have women being in the party and recognizing their role, right? So that's Shope for me, and the time that I spent with her before they went to Parliament, that's the person that I remember. So by the time she went to Parliament in 1994, it did not change, right? But this is what we do. We erase people, especially black women, from history. We do, right? We do erase people, right? Because if the Women's League stood up for what it believed or what it believes it stands for, right? All the women who went through that organization should have been celebrated. Every child should know about Emma Shope.
In 1999, former President Nelson Mandela awarded Shope with the National Order for Meritorious Service in Silver for exceptional public service. In 2014, she was awarded Isitwalandwe or Siaparangwe, the highest honor of the ANC, for those who have made an outstanding contribution and sacrifice to the liberation struggle. This is the advice that Shope gave to women and future generations.
The upcoming generation who need to understand the role played by their mothers and grandmothers in fulfilling an assignment given them.